This is Larry the Barberman here in Los Angeles. I'm here with Omar, the owner of Vinnys Barbershop. Omar is going to be part of my interviewing series for my Larry the Barberman Busman's Holiday, where I'm driving around California interviewing barbers. So Omar, tell me, where and when did you start in barbering, and what was your inspiration and motivation to become a barber?
Well, I first got interested in cutting hair and hair when I was very young, at 8 years old. Cut my brother's hair, my dad's hair, and I got really, I would watch like old movies and like, you know, I Love Lucy, and you know, since I was a young boy, Crybaby was my favorite movie. I always used that as a reference because I thought Johnny Depp's hair was amazing. So I always really liked it, and I would go get a haircut myself. And at a young age, I was really into my hair. I really wanted to look sharp and all that stuff. I could never get it hair the way I wanted it. I tried to explain it, but I didn't know what I was talking about, and they didn't know what they were doing. So at some point when I was in high school, I said, man, I gotta do something, because I don't want to go to school anymore. I don't want to like do any other kind of job. I said, I want to do hair because I want to be a musician too and all these things. So I let a barber know in Pomona, and I was driving up from San Diego. So I'd let this barber know, and his name was Mr. Ralph Upshaw, and he was an old timer. He had finished barber school in '56. He was 23 then, so he taught me his hard ways, and I worked with him and worked with his son, and then after that, he sent me to barber school because times had changed. I had the apprenticeship. We didn't do it the right way, so I still ended up having to go to school. That's where I met Brian Burt, so that's how it all started off.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about your shop, because I've been into your shop and it seems like everything's ship shape. It's very friendly, very vintage, very ordered, very structured.
Yeah.
Tell me the thought process you was going through when you designed the shop initially.
Okay, so when I got that shop, I started off and I said it was going to be a 3-man shop, and then I saw that actually 4 can fit. So we just took it from there. I said, listen, I don't want to do any like theme kind of barber shop. I don't want to have like hot rod posters or like all these different pomade posters and the same thing you've been seeing over and over. So I said, you know what, we're in America. This is an American barber shop. It's going to be a timeless kind of thing. So we have chairs there, barber chairs from the late 20s, have some from the 50s, and have some very modern ones. And we have the waiting chairs are like some of them from the 70s, some of them from the 60s, and it just doesn't matter. It's just what it is. It's an American barbershop. So and that's the one thing. And me personally, I like to be neat and clean. And I always felt like there's nothing better than walking into a barbershop where it's nice and neat and clean and feels fresh, feels welcoming. So
achieve that.
Yeah. So that's what I decided to do with it, and it's been working out well. And all the guys, we all have an agreement, and we all understand that we want the same thing. We want to feel like, because we're here longer, we're here more than we are at home, or we spend more time with each other than our wives and our kids and stuff like that. So it's like, well, might as well keep it really clean.
And in terms of style, does anybody come to you to get a particular kind of haircut, or is it just the...
Well, it's funny you said that. All the barbers, it seems like we don't announce it, but we kind of specialize in certain type of haircuts, and we each of us have like a different kind of following. So it's pretty cool. That's the cool thing in the shop. There's just so many styles, especially being here in LA. There's just people will come from Long Beach, or people will come from Corona, or all the different places in LA, or the big area. And they're all into different things, and so yeah, I get like the longer hairstyles with like more classic like 50s style. Some of the guys get more of like the African American guys, because they're really good at it. Like me personally, I don't practice it enough because nobody sits in my chair, or like some of the guys get like the hip hop haircuts and stuff like that. They're really good at it, and yeah. Seriously, I love. Actually, that's the one thing that the biggest pride of my life in the shop is the crew. That we all understand each other and we all respect each other, and the amount of different types of people that come in. Like, there's not just like, oh yeah, that barbershop. Oh yeah, they only specialize in that. No, we specialize in everything. It's just that each barber specializes in something different.
Okay. And, you know, like I said, I introduced you as a successful barbershop based on what I've seen. So I want to go into productivity. You're an appointment only shop. Tell me why you think this would make you more productive than having walk-ins and appointments only, or only walk-ins.
Okay, before I started working here, a few of the guys worked at this different barbershop as I did as well, and it was walk-in only. It's like, we're traditional, and this is how they did it back in the day. Okay, but there wasn't that many humans. This is Los Angeles, man. Everybody's in a hurry. You know, I feel like nobody wants to get a haircut from a cranky barber. Nobody wants a rushed haircut, and I want to give the respect to the people that are paying me to make them look their best and give them my time. You know, if I'm going to offer them my chair, I'm going to offer them not just a chair. I'm going to offer them the best that I can, the best attitude that I can give them, and make them feel at home and welcome. You know, that way they know, like, okay, I have an appointment at 1:30, so I can be at so-and-so place at 2:15. I want that to be able to happen. And we're very strict on it. Like, 10 minutes past, I'm sorry, man, I can't take you, because then it's going to cut into the next person. You know, you don't know if that next person's at lunch, you know, or was squeezing in a haircut, and that's why they planned it a month ago. So I feel like that's what makes us more like productive and stuff. Like, it keeps it well oiled, you know, keeps it flowing.
Okay, so that's productivity for the clients. Now I want to talk about productivity of the staff, because as I understand it, you have a set time every day where every barber and every porter goes to lunch. Now what springs to mind is a fable that I heard in Stephen Covey's book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where you have the two lumberjacks or treemen. They have a race to see who can chop down the most trees in a day. At the end of the day, the man that kept going off every now and again for 10 minutes won the race and actually chopped down the most trees. And when the guy that lost asked him, where did you go every 10 minutes? He said, I simply went to sharpen my saw. Do you think taking all your staff out for 1 hour every day is a productive way of doing things, and why?
I do think I think it's very important, because, like I said earlier, like once you start hitting that wall, like you start to get cranky, you start losing energy, you start losing focus, so you can't really put everything that you have on that. It's just like when you first start in the morning, you have a cup of coffee or tea or whatever it may be, and then you get going and you're feeling great and all that stuff. Well, that goes away midday. So I feel like all these dudes, I tell them, like, that's the one thing I'm strict on, man. Like, if you really want to work through lunch because I know you need some money or something like that, go for it. But if not, take a break, because you need to recharge your batteries. Either go with the rest of the gang or just go on your own. Whatever it takes for you to think about what you got going on, or go to the bank, or do whatever you needed to do. You get more work done. I've always thought that, like, you know, like you said, the 10-minute breaks and all that stuff, you recharge.
Sharpen the saw. So
yeah.
You're going to chop more heads
Yeah.
California than any man by taking that hour break.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually, we close from 2 to 3:15, so it's an hour break, and then I tell them just be here by 3 o'clock, so that way it gives you 15 minutes to brush your teeth, to comb your hair, wash your face, do whatever you need to do to get started again. So it's an hour and 15 minutes.
Was you ever a military man? Because everything seems to be so ship shape and precise and...
No, I'm just kind of sick like that.
Outside of barbering, tell me a little bit about outside of barbering, because as I understand it, you're quite heavily into music. Tell me more.
Yeah. I used to play in a band and travel all over the world with it. But being married and having the kids and in the shops, I kind of like taken a step back. But for the last 15 years, I've been also recording people. We have a recording studio for our label, and it's all analog. So it's like and we focus in on like soul, northern soul, rockabilly, blues, you know, any kind of rootsy kind of music. We've done some bluegrass, 60s style country and stuff like that. So that's my other part of my life. But just little by little, I've been taking a step back and to just focus on the recording. So that way, I don't have to go and do gigs and do all that stuff, which I still love. But I have my kids and my wife in the back of my head. I'm like, oh man, I could just be watching TV with them right now or something.
Okay, so you just want to keep...
Yeah, but the other part of my life is cycling. I'm very, very big in cycling. and it's not just like road cycling, but it's like vintage road cycling, like ciclismo, you know, like.
Good.
So I collect vintage bikes and wear the whole wool kit and everything, and so yeah, I'm a big geek when it comes to that.
Okay, so the only part of your personal life that carries over into the shop is just the vintage base, if you like, foundation.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's the weird thing. It's not just style or the fashion of vintage stuff, but it just seems like before people had like more guts. I don't know. Like if you take like for instance cycling, you see them. They're not like these huge monsters what they are now with these big old legs, but they were stronger and they pushed harder and stuff like that. And so something about that, and then like old style barbering and all that. It's just there's some like guts and into it, like that really interests me.
Okay, one other thing that I did notice about your barbershop is that you actually have a system for young guys coming into the barbershop. You kind of take them from a customer through to becoming a barber. Talk me through that system.
Oh, okay. So it's funny because when I decided to open the barbershop, I was like, man, one of the first guys that's going to be with me, I wanted to be a friend that I begged, like, hey man, like you always hate your jobs, just why don't you become a barber? Do you already look like one? And so he finally said, okay, let's do it. So I took him on, and I thought, this is great, dude. There's all kinds of barbershops, and everybody talks about tradition and traditional barbershop and shaving parlor. And I was like, I'm sick of it. I'm just gonna say this is just a barbershop, but I also want to teach my friends and my son's godfather, who's Victor, who works here. He still I think wants to open a barber school. So I was like, why don't you start taking some apprentices? I said, yeah, okay, cool. So what I was doing, hiring dudes to become porters. After they become porters, after like a year and a half, I ask them, well, what do you want to do now? Do you want to continue doing this work? Do you want to get a job somewhere else? Or do you want to learn how to be a barber? And luckily they've all said, yeah, I want to take it to the next step and let's become a barber. So now we've had, I think, 4 apprentices. And like my first one, he's already moved away to another barbershop, which is great because now I get to see everything that I've taught him, like with running the business and doing all that stuff and helping our friend out from American Vintage Barbershop. I don't know if you heard of them. No. Okay. So he's helping them out with some structure and stuff like that, I believe. And so that's how it is. You get hired on. Well, a couple of guys, there were customers, they're like my weeklies, and then they became porters, and then they became apprentices. Now one of them, Frankie, he's about to be a barber. Like he's got like maybe like 6 more months left. And I think that's like the most traditional as you can get. That's how it all kind of was before. Everything that you read on it. And yeah.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 33.
33. Okay. And where did you learn all these kind of principles and disciplines and structure? Because I think every barber should take note, because what you've managed to achieve over the road, I say that because I'm interviewing Omar from my RV, is near on remarkable. I mean, it's just so, everything is just so on point. That's why I asked you if you was in the army.
Yeah, no, I don't know, I guess a little bit from my dad, and then just being honest with myself, because before I opened up this place, I was kind of a mess. I was like drinking and kind of just going with it, and whatever happened, and I was just tired of it. I was like, I don't really like that. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the way that looks, and I can do better on myself, and I want to share that. So I decided, okay, let's stop fooling around. What do you want to do? And I said, I want to keep everything neat. I want to look sharp. I want people to look sharp. I want people to feel great, and that's it. That's all it took.
And what common mistakes do you see as a successful people, other young barbers your age doing, that you can just see is leading to a road to hell?
Self-aggrandizing, like making themselves bigger than what they really are. Like, if you're busy, you're not posting stuff up. If you have pride, show your pride. With not by boasting, not by saying that we're the best or we're this and do that. Come here to get the tightest whatever, that is just suicide. Some people like it. I mean, people like it. I mean, you got, Trump says the craziest things in the world, and he still has followers. So, barbers, well, they could be terrible barbers or whatever. But I think that plays out. It wears out, I think just remain calm, dude. Like,
keep your feet on solid ground.
Keep your feet down. Like, keep moving forward. That's all you got to do. Take pride in what you do and don't boast about it. And I think that's the thing that bothers me, because you start seeing like these hashtags like barber cash and barber money. Like, nobody cares, man. We've always done okay. Barbers have always done okay. And I'm not the richest man in the world, but I'm not broke yet. But I'm not gonna show it off. Like, sure, I'll buy a nice shirt, and if somebody notices, I'm like, thanks, man. I worked really hard for it. But I'm not gonna be like posting on Instagram, barber cash got me this, or no.
All right, in closing, because you're on appointment system only and we're approaching 10 o'clock, what would be your words of advice for anyone who wanted to set up or start a successful barbering business? What would be your takeaway for them in closing?
The best thing I can say is be patient. Be patient with yourself, be patient with the business, and be patient with your colleagues, with the guys you work with. You've got to always remember, if you're an owner-operator, if you're at a barber shop, they're not working for you, man, they're working with you. So be patient, have respect for yourself and for them, and I think that will go a long, long way.
Okay, and give them an hour, have a communal hour break together.
Yeah, man. Breaks are always important. No drinking on the job either, man. A lot of these barbers are always posting the pictures of drinking on the job or smoking herb, or like, save that for later.
Oh, one quick question. Do you give your clients alcohol who come into your shop?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
We have like hard spirits, like hard liquor, and we have coffee, water, and then beer. So if they want beer, yeah, cool. Yeah, we have 2 different kinds, and two drink maximum though, man. I can't have anybody leaving drunk.
Omar, thank you very much for sharing your time and your knowledge and your wisdom on barbering with my community, as I'm sure your community will see it also, and just keep up the good work and keep expanding slowly and steadily as you are.
Thank you, man.
You're very
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you.